Hey everyone, this is Wade from fishfindermounts.com, and I want to show you in more detail and a bit of a more sort of summarized way our new sort of UP plate, universal plate. We build a lot of our product model series off of this plate, this simple plate that you see here, and we've actually improved it and given us more opportunities to do more with it. So right now that's this here. This is the printed prototype of this newer version of that plate in red color. It's going to be in this gray when we're done with it all. But this will demonstrate what it actually looks like and it's going to be like, except for the red color, of course. So we'll just take the Garmin Striker 4 DV. This is the newer version, the CV, the Garmin Striker 4 CV. It's pretty much the same thing. This one's a little bigger than the other, a little longer or taller. But I'm going to show you the detail. So in one of my last videos, recent videos, I showed you guys the Garmin Striker 4 DV right there, as you saw, being put right onto this plate. So what's the differences in these two plates, you may ask? Well, you can see there's 4 extra new holes. That mates up with these glue-on bases from Scotty. You can see the 4 holes right there lining up, so you'll be able to mount your fish finder using a non-powered. Right now, all we have for that, and all we've had for quite some time, is powered systems. But this is getting an opportunity for you guys that have a battery in your boat. That you don't want to use our battery or a powered system. You just need a mounting base, if you will, to mount off of. You would use, let me just make sure I showed you guys this correctly. You would use this system here. The small one does the same, or cannot do this at this time because of these 4 holes being added. So we've added those. So this gives a new non-powered model series of glue-on kits for your inflatable boats, your ribs, your Zodiac style boats. And so you can mount your fish finder onto that. And you can see all the different holes for the various different fish finders. That covers the vast majority in the market, believe it or not. It really covers tons of them. And we also have a smaller plate, which is our 3.0 plate here. Sorry, I'm spinning when I'm talking a bit here. So that, you know, once you get it to the position you want that to be in, you can just lock that down. And I'll show you here what the swivel, like what a fish finder looks like on the swivel plate system here. This is a strap-on version of our mount. 5 amp hour kit, 5AH 4.5. float tube mount kit. So you can see the Garmin Striker 5 on there, and this is how the swivel plates work. And then when you got them into the position you want, you can lock them down and they won't move anywhere. So imagine, you know, that fish finder could be also on here, on this glue-on kit, as you see here. We'll just take that guy off. Here's the 4.5 plate, we call it 4.5 because it's 4.5 inches this way and 4.5 inches this way. So there you have a non-powered glue-on system. Of course, this plate will be gray like you see in the older style when we're done, if it's all said and done with it. Now, the other thing that we've done to improve this universal plate, again, that red plate down below my fingers here. So what we've got here on the bottom, if the camera could kind of focus, the old one didn't have any structural bosses put in for different fish finders. This one actually has the Garmin Striker and Echomap series pattern right here. These 3 holes, the triangular shape here. And it also has the Piranhamax, Humminbird Piranhamax 4 and 4DI. So here's the Piranhamax 4. And we're going to put that on, and I'm gonna do both of them. I'm going to put both. You already did see the Garmin on there, but just for sake of maybe even redundancy sake, just to make sure, I don't know if such thing exists, redundancy sake, but what I'm trying to say is I want to make sure that I am overly demonstrative concerning. So I'm going to take this hardware off concerning these 2 fish finders, because you'll be able to buy a fairly low cost, quite a low cost tube mounting kit. That's with the strap. Now you see this 5 amp hour kit. It has a battery and everything. It's got the transducer mount on here and everything. We'll put this down on the table so that this way so that the camera can explore that. You can see that the strap comes through on the bottom. The camera can see that. And it also goes through the transducer mount here, the transducer strap. And you can lock your transducer in once you're happy with its position, if it's on your float tube or your inflatable boat or what have you. And it can also do the same thing with this system here that I'm going to show you right now. So we're going to take, we're going to sell it in various emanations on our website. We'll probably call it the Piranhamax version or the Garmin version. And so we'll drill these holes out for you likely, but you could drill these holes out. And the way that would be done is on the bottom of it. This is the top, and the top would be with the top would be with the logo on it, as you see here. If the camera can come closer to these details, the top would have the logo on it. It doesn't right now because this is just in printed form. You can see I already drilled out those 3 holes for the Garmin series. Now I'm going to drill out the ones for the Piranhamax base right here. This is the Piranhamax base right there. So we'll drill that out right now. You ready, camera man? You might want to move right around this region with the camera. We're just going to take our little drill bit and just drill through and get all those holes exposed. And now what you'll see, oops, I chewed through that one a little bit funny. And it's just a corroded plastic, so it really did make a funny hole, but that's not normally what would happen, of course. And I'd be using a drill press when we do this. We usually use drill presses. But that still will suffice, it'll still be fine. So looking at this, guys, just move some of this stuff out of the way. We're gonna put the Piranhamax 4 base, Piranhamax 4 and 4 DI right onto these. You can see all the holes line up, and we include in our kit this set of little screws. When you get it, you'll see it in a little baggie like this. Sometimes it's pretty small baggie in the midst of all these things, so be careful you don't lose it. Some guys will call me and say I'm missing this or that, but in actual fact, if they look again, they find it. So we'll just adjust our drill. Let's get this mounted up. Oops. That was this rubbing against the plastic of the Piranhamax base. So we're taking these four screws and mounting down the Piranhamax mounting base post, if you want to call it that. Just maybe a few things we could call it. And make sure your torque isn't overly done. Like I got it on 5 for this drill. It's a 12-volt lithium-ion drill. But you can see it's on there nice. And you can see, well, it's maybe a bit hard, but you can kind of see the drill heads, you know, the pointed end of the the screws in those holes there, those bosses as they're called. And what's going to happen is we are going to put, what? The Piranhamax 4. The Piranhamax 4 DI, or this is actually not the DI model, but it's the same mounting post, by the way, everyone, for the DI as it is for just the 4. So you can see how that works here quickly. Camera maybe comes down to the details again. We're gonna get this guy. We can maybe fit this guy in before we put the mounting post in there. It's got these, like, you know, tracks, or this contour, or how should I call it, groove pattern. So they all kind of lock together. I don't know how effective it is. It's sometimes, to me, seems a little bit goofy, but it works, I guess. So we'll just screw that guy together. The camera can see all that together, and we're gonna build a little mounting system for you guys for your float tube or your inflatable boat. As I was saying before, we can take our little I got a little 20, this strap is a little bit shorter than the regular ones we send. You're usually getting either a 60-inch or a 96-inch strap, and we'll take also our transducer mount here, and we'll put that on. So the way that this would work is you go through the strap slot like from above. So this would be sitting on your tube or your pontoon or bladder, what have you, air bladder. You'd bring it down underneath. You see this is all flat in this area, and then up. And that's the system. So if you want it on your right side, this might be the way you have it. You could do it on your left or your right, it doesn't matter. In fact, I like to have it on my left because I'm a fly caster, a fly fisherman, and I fly fish with my right hand. I cast with my right hand, fly cast with my right hand is what I should say. And we're just going to take the transducer mount strap. Same thing as what you just saw here, where it goes up, down, like from the top down, underneath, and up, out again, and then right. So here we'll just rotate so people can see what that looks like clearly. And then you can take this guy, and if this is going to be in your float tube, this is already set up correctly for a float tube. So we'll take this guy and we'll go again over top. This is the top of it, right? And then we're going to go underneath with a strap, and then out it comes the other side. And now you can finish the loop. You see everything's not quite joined up, but you can finish it through this cam strap here, where you go, sorry, I gotta get the cam strap. You go up through this first slot next to the strap that exists there already, right there. And then you come back down through this final slot on the other side. And that is fantastic. It works really well. And it just works through sort of retention by the everything hugging the way it works. It works really well, actually, surprisingly well. So if there was a tube, you can imagine, if there was a tube, a bladder of air here, this would be wrapped around that, and there's your your system now. So I actually have the transducer here. I decided that we should put it actually all together so you guys can see. And I've moved the transducer out of the side of the remaining extra strap here. By the way, you guys could always cut this strap if you really didn't like the extra strap being there, and then just use a lighter to cauterize the plastic from fraying. It's a polypropylene strap, so that it does it very nicely. Like, it just shrivels up, if you will, really nicely. So it doesn't further fray later on. But anyways, we've got everything together here. There's a Piranhamax setup for your float tube or your Zodiac boat or rib boat or whatever. And we're going to take the transducer, put it on the transducer mount. So if the camera can come in close to see this detail, here we go. We take our fork washer, we like to call this. This is our root arm. You can get extension arms from us. So we're going to put this guy right on here. Actually, when we're in our float tube, we're going to be going backwards if we're in a float tube. So I'm going to do it like a float tube style. So it would be that way. I've got this plastic on here still from the manufacturer. We can rip that off. So we'll take a fork washer and we'll put it back on here, and it just fits over nice like that. So it acts like a clamp. We just take our butterfly nut, and we just screw that on there. And you can clamp that down with your fingers as tight as you like. You don't need that tight for a float tube setup. And so now you have, there is actually a power cable here. I've tied everything together. So like in this case, it's a non-powered system. So if you bought this from us and you didn't buy a battery from us, you would be providing your own battery. But I'll show you a demonstration quickly as to how this works. So here you are in your float tube. Now I'm going to turn this way so the camera can see. If you're sitting in your float tube, this would be on your, well, I like it on my left side, but in this case it's on the right, okay, everybody? And that's going to be your tube inside of here, filling this up. And this is going to be your transducer mount. When you're launching and beaching, you can see other videos on here. We've got awesome videos and demonstrations of the real thing on the water and everything with the float tube and all that. But I'm trying to show you guys just so nobody can complain that, oh, I didn't see the whole gambit of what this new system is. Well, this is it. I'm showing you now. So you can tilt that up out of the water so you don't drag weeds, you don't drag on the rocks when you're launching and beaching. You can protect your transducer from getting all scraped up for the most part. So that's sitting on there, and then what we're going to do is in your pocket of your float tube or on the floor of your rib boat or your Zodiac boat, you're going to want to power this guy up. So somewhere around there you have had the design to, you've actually gone out and got your battery stuck in there somewhere. And we are going to also, so this is the transducer plug. We don't really need to attach that, so we're not going to, but I will attach the battery. Now we've got our little plug. You can buy these cable sets from us separately too. They are included in all of our powered kits. So it's just peeking out here. I was just looking for that. That's why I was umming and ahhing a bit. And we're going to take our little battery here, our 5 amp hour battery, which would run this fish finder Piranhamax for like 2.5, 3 days, somewhere in there, like good long days of fishing. And we'll just take this guy off, this cover. Oh, come on, wait. There we go. And let's turn that guy on. So there you have your system. Your complete entire mounting system. As minimalistic as you could pretty much get. There's nothing more minimal. And the reason why we're doing this system with just the Piranhamax and the Garmin series, I'm going to put one of those, the Garmin's on here in this video too, one of the Garmin's. The reason why we're doing it this way is because they have a pretty good swivel base built right in. If the camera can look down at the details here, maybe back off away from me and look at everything together, me explaining everything all at once together, is you can see they have a pretty good mounting base here. Very swivel, very rotatable itself, unto itself. Typically I was showing you at the very beginning of this video that you might, I've had, and we do to this day, right now, we're selling, and we always will, because there's other fish finders like the Lowrance Hook series. Like the Lowrance Hook series, you see here, everybody, there is no rotational base on any of their hook series anymore. So you'd still want a swivel plate, and that is over here. If the camera swings back, that is this swivel plate here. So we are still going to be selling this. For those types of fish finders, you're going to need this setup with the swivel plate built together. But with those fish finders that have a rotational, they have a small base. It's not very big either. That's another thing. The Garmin base, let's just take the CV here for example, is not very big at all. Like a coffee mug size big, 3 inches in diameter. And the Piranhamax, and I'm going to take this apart now, everybody. I think everybody understands, I hope, how all that works together. This would be, if you're float tubing, this would be in your pocket somewhere else on your boat. And that would be your mounting system externally. I'd have it on this side of myself. In this case, we have set it up on the right side, but I like it on the left side, so it's just it's backwards for me. But it doesn't matter. You can easily change that, fix that. We're just going to turn this guy off, unplug the battery. I'm going to put the Garmin on here for everybody to see that as well. So as you saw, the way this guy works is you just have this little mounting pole. Okay, so we got that guy off. We still got this transducer on there. By the way, you could take the whole system off very easily with our stuff. You can just actually pull that apart. There's so many different points you can pull it apart. You could take this off, take this apart, take that off. This is the fastest way though. So we'll just leave that like that for now. And everybody, this is Wade from fishfindermounts.com. If I failed to mention that very well at the beginning or what have you, you can call us at 1-855-784-3474 to get your perfect fish finder mounting solution for you today. We are making all fish finders portable. Now if the camera views down onto here, we're going to take this base off of the Piranhamax just quickly. And we're going to put in instead, remember these 3 holes here, these 3 holes here, not these 4 we just did, but these 3, we are actually going to take, let's put the Garmin Striker CV on there. So you guys, the CV is the newer model. What you do with this guy is you actually have to, I think, bend this guy up. In fact, I don't think I know. And this slides off. So again, I'll just show you guys that. You bend this up, push it forward, and it slides off. You see there's a little lip there. So that's kind of, they have it chamfered here, but it's also convexed here, so it doesn't pop off. You have to push it down purposefully. So we'll just take their base, and we'll put it back on here. It was on here in the beginning. So again, if you have a Garmin Striker 4 CV, even an Echomap, they're all the same mounting base, by the way, for Garmin folks. You take it like this. You take you're only going to need 3 of the 4 screws we provided. We'll just grab those here. So there's the Garmin base, and we can take the Garmin, let's take the Garmin Striker 4 CV Plus, by the way, guys. This is the Plus with the actual charting. But again, the Striker 4 DV all the way up to the CV, up to the CV Plus, they're all the same in terms of their mounting capabilities. So maybe the camera can look carefully that that is all together on there. And again, if you are concerned about that transducer is here, and you might ask, well, does your stuff mount and power that too? And of course the answer is always emphatically yes. It certainly does mount all of that stuff. So you can take that guy, just so you guys can see just quickly. We'll just take this guy apart quickly. That's the Humminbird Piranhamax transducer right there. That's what it looks like in my hand. Just so you guys can see that for fun. And we're going to take the Garmin Striker 4 CV. Here is the actual Garmin Striker 4 CV. I'm going to show you how to put that on. It's a solid post, mounting post, as opposed to its last generation. And again, our mount acts like a clamp. It's a clamping mount, and you just take it and it will all come together nicely. And you just take your butterfly nut and then you can tighten that up. And so now you have your Garmin Striker 4 CV float tube mount kit. Garmin Striker 4 Plus CV mount kit. And by the way, you guys want to go the whole do the whole enchilada there, and you want to see this thing powered up on our mount. Well, okay, in this case, same thing like the Piranhamax. Here's the power cable. I've been doing lots of videos and lots of things with this stuff. You guys should subscribe to our channel while you're at it, because we are always having videos coming out of what we're doing and how all of this works. There we go. There, now it's powered up right there. So there you go. You got your battery in the pocket of your float tube, maybe on the floor of your rib boat. Actually, this is the wrong way for the transducer. The transducer on a float tube would be, sorry, this way. That's a pretty big transducer compared to the Humminbird one. By the way, guys, just, you know, if you want looking for compactness, you know, maybe that's something, you know, like we're looking at a huge difference in sizes of transducers there. This one actually does down imaging, so it's got a couple of other elements in there versus, oh geez, I did that wrong again. Let's do that. Let's do it right. Take that guy off. This is the way it should be for a float tube configuration. I'm getting a little picky here. Not everybody needs to know that because I've shown you it can go on many different ways. But If you want this on the right hand side of your float tube, this battery over here would be in your pocket of your float tube. This would be like in here, and your bladder, this would be wrapped around one of your tubes of your float tube, or your pontoon boat, or various different. This is a very low profile mount as well. You can even see it's contoured in here so that it hugs a little better than our old one, which is just completely flat, the old one. It's not very big though, so it still is good. It's just that this one's a little nicer the way we've added this contour in here. You can see a little bit of that. Maybe if we put it on the table in front of the camera can look at the table and see how flat that is. It's got the strap in it, mind you, but there you go. So let's take this guy over here and we'll turn that off. So we've done the Garmin Striker 4 CV, the DV, whatever you want it to be, and the Humminbird Piranhamax goes on to this new kit from us, fishfindermounts.com. You can call us at 1-855-784-3474 to get your amazing fish finder mounting system for your inflatable boats, your float tubes, your pontoons, your one-up pontoons, your pontoon boats, your bass raiders, your bass masters, all sorts of these small fishing vessels. That's what we really focus on and do really, really well. And ultimately we make your fish finder completely portable, and we make it able to take your fish finder and move it to different boats with so you don't have to buy tons of fish finders or lots of different transducers. You just need one kit, and a lot of our kits you can buy the core kit and then add just the other little peripherals on there, say a clamp or what have you. Now you got a mount for your boat as an example. So we've been quite innovative in being able to give you guys many different options, but then do it in a really professional way. So thanks for watching this little video of ours, everyone. I'm Wade.